Okay, so now this one is actually pretty easy, so I'm going to try and go through this quite quickly. I'm going to try and make this something like 10-minute video. If you want more details, then really go through my Cambridge 12 and Cambridge 13 videos. But this one really very straightforward. So let's see what we've got. We've got some true, false, not given, and gap fill, which, as many of you will know, is the most common format for Passage 1. What do we see here? We're going to start with the gap fill, but immediately we see a whole lot of lovely dates and a few names, but it's mainly the dates that I'm going to look at. What we need to figure out here quickly is this half the passage and then this the second half of the passage, or is this the whole passage and this is the whole passage? But I see early life over there, so I'm probably going to go and look at the beginning quickly. And immediately I see 1831 over there. Then we also wanted 1855, Canada. A little bit more scanning. And we have 1855 and Canada over there. So it starts at the beginning. So I wouldn't then go through and make a map. You don't really need to. These are going to be easier to find. So I would, for this one, instead of making a map and trying to find where everything is before I start, I would just start because I can see this is going to be easy to find. So, he was born in Scotland and his father was a. So now common sense should tell you that this is going to be what his father's job is. It could be something else, but most probably it's his job. We know that we're looking for a singular noun, and of course we're just looking for what his father's job was. Can you see it? There's our sentence over there. This guy was the son of a successful merchant. We allowed one word, so it must be that. Merchant's quite a good word. It means a trader, businessman kind of thing. End of the sentence, as we see many times. Right, straightforward. Then we're going to go maybe find 1866, and then we're going to try and find a couple of keywords. So I would try and there. We're not going to look at photography. The whole thing's about photography. Time maybe is good, and heavy. Maybe let's look at souvenirs while we're at it. 1866, city life, time, heavy, souvenirs. It's a good ability to scan for more than one thing at the same time. 1866, city life, time, heavy, souvenirs. 1855, no, we want to move forward. 1860, no, we want to move 65, no, we want to move forward. And there, 1866. Studio they mentioned, yes. Here's city life over there. But what did we want? We wanted something about time and heavy. So we're in the right place. People bought his photos because photography took up considerable time and the something was heavy. Now, quickly, there's something I want to point out. Do you see why that's important? I've mentioned it before. This is how grammar can help you. Sometimes the verb, this is the subject of that clause. This is the verb, so if this is was and not were, it means that this must be what? It must be either singular or uncountable. So we're looking for a singular or an uncountable noun. Notice that kind of grammar, it's often very useful. So we want this sentence. People, why did they buy his photos? Because photography took up time and the something was heavy. The camera was heavy. So basically now you want to scan and scan and scan. Actually, it would have been useful to see souvenirs over there because we know then that it comes somewhere in between these two. Can you see anything about time and heavy? And I see it over there. Time consuming and the weight of the equipment. Again, the structure in the questions and the structure in the text is the same. Time consuming techniques, and this is heavy, the weight of the what? There is our uncountable noun, equipment. So it must be equipment. I think if you found the correct sentence, if you found time, then you would have found the correct sentence. A little bit of extra scanning there. It was useful to find souvenirs at the same time. The photographs he sold were something or souvenirs. That verb doesn't help us because that verb is talking about photographs, of course. They were something or souvenirs. Again, I'm looking for a noun or noun. Structure in the question, structure in the text. There's souvenirs. Can you see the or? That's the very important word over there. that ore is that ore over there. And all they've done is they've switched it. They put souvenirs first and this one second. So if you just found that ore, you found that structure, noun or noun, of course it's gifts. So they tried to trick you there by just making a small trick, switching the two around. Gifts or souvenirs, souvenirs or gifts. There in 1870s, 1880s, many trips along eastern rivers in a boat. You go along a river in a what? In a boat or some kind of boat, of course. 1870s, 1880s, eastern rivers. 1870s, 1880s, find eastern rivers. Scan, 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 scan. It can help you to find 1875 and 1897 because then we know if we've gone too far. So there's 75 and then 97, scan, 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 there's 97. Okay, so our eastern rivers is then going to be somewhere over here. Can you see eastern rivers? There it is over there. So what did we want? Let's look again. He took many trips along eastern rivers in So we're looking for a singular noun. He was fond of the wilderness and traveled by canoe on the da-da-da and other rivers. So he was in a what? This is quite important for you to notice. They don't have in front of it. And it's an important thing to notice. It doesn't, just because is there or is there, does not necessarily mean it will be like that in the text. We can have other words in front of like his or her or by, many other words. So the isn't always there. You needed to know what a canoe was. A canoe is a kind of boat. Finally, he worked for them in 1885 and photographed the something and the railway. Again, the structure. Noun and noun. Noun phrase and noun phrase. CPR 1885. There's 1885. There's CPR. He went along as far as that where he took photographs of the mountains and the progress of construction. There's the noun phrase and noun phrase. That and is that and over there. So he photographed the something and the railway at Rogers Pass. This is actually the railway. It's quite difficult paraphrase. It's the progress of construction of the railway. So there is definitely an answer there. He took photographs of the mountains and the progress of construction of the railway. Okay, I think pretty straightforward, really. Let's move on to the true, false, not given. So we're going to start all the way at the beginning as well. So there's no point in finding all of them before because it's probably the whole passage, just like this was the whole passage. So we're going to start at the beginning. We're going to look for press estate. And what do you think the target language in there? Henderson rarely visited the area around Press Estate when he was younger. That's going to be our target language over there. There's Press Estate. There's Press Castle again over there. Let's see anything more. Visited maybe, area around, younger. So this is the area around. This is younger. Stayed is visited. So we're in this sentence. It's quite straightforward. There's our target language over there. They just say rarely and the text says often. And so that is clearly false because often and rarely are opposites. No real tricks there, so that must be false. Next, let's scan for business career. Maybe scan for family. There's no clear target language there. I think the issue about this is because. So why did he pursue a business career? What was the reason? So that's the target language. Was it because it was what his family wanted, or was it for some other reason? Business career, business career, business career is over there. Although he never liked the prospect of a business career, he stayed with it. Why? To please his family. To make his family happy. So that means obviously, yes, his family wanted him to do a business career. Again, no real tricks. Very straightforward. That's true. Let's find Henderson and Notman. They were surprised by results of their 1865 experiment. First, Henderson and Notman 1865 experiment. There's Notman. There's 1865. There's experiments. They cooperated on experiments with blah, 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 blah. Anything about surprised. Read. I can't even see surprised over there. So surprised was the target language. But it's not there. So very clearly not given. Many similarities. I think that's target language. Between the early landscapes and those of Notman. Early landscapes and those of Notman. So Henderson's landscapes and Notman's landscapes had many similarities or differences, or we don't know. Scan. There is Notman's landscapes. But for this one, you actually needed to read this question over there. In spite of their friendship, their styles were quite different. Notman's landscapes had bold realism. Henderson's landscapes had romantic images. So there is the target language over there, actually in the sentence before. Many similarities, different, of course, false. The studio in 1866 was close to his home. I guess that might be target language. 1866 we're going to scan for. Studio we'll scan for. 1866 he opened up a studio. Blah, 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 blah. I don't see anything about being close to his home. Of course not given. He gave up portraiture so he could focus on taking photographs of scenery. Not clear target language, but this we'll scan for. Why did he, it's the same as this one. Why did he pursue a business career? Why did he give up portraiture? It's that kind of question. Find the reason. This says so he could focus on scenery. It's probably worth finding this Montreal Halifax Intercolonial Railway, just so we know where to stop. That's there and there. So we're looking somewhere before that. Portraiture. And we'll just have to start scanning again from here, I guess. And it's right there, directly after where the last one was. And the last one was not given. So that was a little bit difficult, but you had to find portraiture. Why did he drop portraiture? To specialize in landscape photography. He gave up portraiture, he dropped portraiture so that he could focus, specialize on taking photographs of scenery, landscapes. Quite the same. It was just easy to miss portraiture, I think, because it was right there. Also true. Right, then we found this. Let's go and look at that. When Henderson began work for that, the Montreal had been finished. I think this is our target language. Was it finished or was it not finished, or don't we know? Start reading here. He took some photographs of this railway. Then in 1875, from the railway to record the principal structures along the almost completed line connecting Montreal to Halifax. So there's the target language. Almost completed. This says completed, so it's false. His last work was with the Canadian Pacific Railway. That's the target language. What was his last job? Was it his last job? There's Canadian Pacific Railway, but there's also Canadian Pacific Railway. And then you just basically got to continue reading and see if he found another job. What happened after this? And it's over there. He continued in this post. What is this post? This is the job with the CPR, Canadian Pacific Railway, when he retired completely from photography. So retired completely, it was his last job. So that must be true. Alright, I've gone through it really fast because I don't want to repeat stuff that I've gone over in 11 and 12. And also this was pretty easy reading. So most of you can get full marks for this. Maybe make one mistake. I hope you get something like this in the real test. Alright, thank you very much. Please click like if it helps. I know this one didn't help so much because it was so easy, but go ahead and click like anyway. Thank you very much. See you on the next reading.